all the glory, all the praise again to Yahweh and Son Yahweh being Yahweh, 7 hours and 40 minutes range. Yah's is back at it again on this so-called Sunday, June 19, 2022. I know people celebrate the Father's Day and stuff, all those pagan and stuff. It's for that's a pagan holiday as well, and it's great fathers, great black fathers out there and stuff, and they really want to be in their child lives. At least I said 75% on. Now you got some deadbeat and all color, so-called color, all so-called race, and the black family, the white family, the Mexican family, the Asian family, and so on. And let's get to the. I don't know what I'm calling it yet. It's not pre-recorded. You might get it today or tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna call this yet. And stuff. Let's go. Three men, face 100 plus charge in North Carolina after a theft of BMW, Ferrari, computers, and guns. This is in North Carolina, and North Carolina getting a damn bad rap lately. This is Raleigh. It's in Raleigh. Yeah, Raleigh kind of crazy anyway. So let's move on. I mean, not move on. You look at them, you can tell they ain't got no light. They ain't got no Most High in them. But anyway, let's go. 3 federal inmates escaped from maximum security Virginia prison. Yeah, that ain't no surprise. A lot of them so-called black guys don't need to be in prison anyway. They got charged. They got charged for something they didn't do a lot of times. So let's move on. Final bar transgender swimming for women's elite event if they went through the male publication. A transgender swimming. Well, the world coming to an end with this gay manifesto crap with transgender, bisexuals, homosexuals and stuff. And I ain't gonna hop on that too long because they get too sensitive. Let's move on. 2 men charged in fatal fireworks exploded that killed 4 people. Yeah, I don't see why you buy firecrackers in the first place and stuff. I ain't popped a firecracker in years, so this is stupid. It's stupid. That was in Blackjack, Missouri, by the way, in St. Louis, close to St. Louis, Missouri. Blackjack, that's a small town. And last, Fayetteville man killed Sunday in shooting in Daisy Drive. This in Fayetteville, North Carolina, by the way. But he got killed last night on 800 block in Danville. It's in the neighborhood between Yakin and Riddle Road. That ain't no surprise. I told you it's gonna keep happening, and mostly the 2/3 of Hebrews, so-called black people, so-called black individuals. So we're gonna move on. Yeah, cause I don't know what I'm gonna name the topic yet. But earlier I did the topic called is dating, being in a relationship, or marriage. I think it's dating, marriage, relationship for a woman. It's dating, being in a relationship and marriage to a 30 or plus year old woman. It's a waste of energy. Yes, it is. I explained that earlier. So go to check that out. I know some of y'all gonna check that out. This message for the spiritual man, the righteous man, the men that call themselves a man of Yahweh and stuff. You got to realize that we're in spiritual warfare, and plus, we getting attacked. People sensitive, and you say anything about these little groups and all that stuff, and that's why I like doing pre-record, because you never know what I'm talking about, and so on, so far. and it's a good thing. I let it go live too, but I'm so busy, tired doing some things, and we just gotta know that just take it easy sometimes. Don't think my Spreaker podcast all about bashing women and stuff. I talk about spirituality things and about Christianity, religion, all that stuff. Although I don't claim titles, which is Christianity and religion and Judaism and stuff. And dating relation or whatever and stuff. And plus, I wanted to say, I lost my train of thought for a minute. I wanted to say that in biblical times, they had chubby men and chubby Hebrew kings and chubby Hebrew queens. That's why the so-called black woman got they the original got the big butts, the big behinds, and the big dungadunk. Black women invented that stuff, and plus so-called African women invented it too, with the salsa dancing to get a man and stuff. And then the rest of the nation, like the Caucasian women, Mexican women, they was turning their nose at that stuff. But look at centuries later, look at modern day time, now they trying to get a big booty, big titty, because they all copped out the so-called black people, so-called black culture. Because we started it, we invented it, we trendsetters and stuff. So everybody copped out the black nation. Every nation copped out the black nation. And this kind of brought to my mind. Whenever you do metrics and stuff, or you do things of the Most High spiritually and mentally and physically, you're a target. And once you tell the real truth without sugarcoating it, you are a target, or they'll try to send somebody like the CIA and Census Report or FBI or some type of affiliation or some type of agent to come your way to try to tone you down and stuff. They tell you down and stuff. They try to get you to tone down and tell the truth, but kind of twist it a little bit, kind of curve it a little bit, kind of like contradict yourself a little bit and stuff like that. Well, I can include me in this, but at the same time, I can include some other guys, and I ain't really want to say names, but I got to say names for real in this one to make sense of it. When we're gonna start back in the way in the late 50s, early 60s with Malcolm X, for example. He was the only man. He was the only so-called black man stood upright spiritually, but on the plow Malcolm X had, he was dumbly under man too much. He was believing in man instead of the Most High. He didn't know Yah, but at the same time, he talked about the Most High stuff, but he called him Allah. But at the same time, Malcolm X kind of told the real truth about a lot of things, about economics, having your kids having your black kids going to all white schools and stuff. But I'm gonna talk about this clown in a minute. But right now, Malcolm X. And then when you can go get my book on Malcolm X, because I think my first book I wrote about, not my second book I wrote about Malcolm X, my ebook, and my last book, not my first book and stuff. And Malcolm X, Malcolm X wanted to Mecca. They said that the Muslims and Islamic folks in Mecca, they accepted Malcolm X before they accepted his teacher Elijah Muhammad, because Elijah Muhammad worked for the CIA, and Malcolm X knew later on that Elijah he wasn't right. When he was right, he was fornicating, he was working for the CIA, and then when I talked about this, and then when Malcolm X died, and who orchestrated was Louis Farrakhan. He orchestrated Malcolm X's death. He sacrificed Malcolm X so he can get popularity and get up in the rank, because Farrakhan was no damn body. His name used to be Louis X and stuff. He wasn't nobody before Malcolm X was mentoring him and stuff. And if Malcolm never joined the Nation of Islam, I wonder what Malcolm X would have did if he never joined the Nation of Islam. And then after Islam, Malcolm might took the oath, Satan's oath, but he never sold his soul. Elijah Muhammad sold his soul. Farrakhan sold his soul, and Farrakhan orchestrated Malcolm X's death. And plus, when Malcolm died, they called Malcolm X gay, which that's not true at all. Malcolm X was not gay, but they said about Martin Luther King. They said Martin Luther King was a good man. No, Martin Luther King was a wicked man. Martin Luther King was a wicked motherfucker. That son bitch was wicked. He worked for the Rothschilds, Jacob Rothschild, and they had pictures of that stuff. And So I'm gonna show that picture, cause I don't want y'all thinking I'm clowning that fool Martin Luther King, because I could show you the proof what Martin Luther King did. And then they try to say he cheated on his wife and stuff. So Coretta Scott King knew Martin Luther King was cheating on her. Well, not cheating, was committing adultery. Well, he really was fornicating. He was messing with little Bessie boys. He messed with them little boys in Dubai and UK and stuff. He had a boyfriend. And the book, Reverend Abernathy, that was Martin Luther King right hand man, Ralph Abernathy. He wrote a book that said Martin Luther King was a switch hitter. Martin Luther King watched people he watched children get molested. He watched women get raped and laughed about it, because Martin Luther King sold his soul. And plus, he wasn't a good man. He wasn't no righteous man. And the Most High warned us in the scriptures in Jeremiah 23 that Martin Luther King was a homo. Martin Luther King said he dreamed. He prophesied lies in the Most High name, but calling him God by lie. So he stood up, right? No, he was a coon. He was a sellout. He kissed them crackers' ass. He kissed them so-called Caucasian folks' ass. He kissed them so-called Jewish folks' ass, them Zionists, the Rothschilds. And Jesse Jackson orchestrated Martin Luther King death. He sacrificed Martin Luther King so he can get up and raise, because Jesse Jackson wasn't nobody but that Rainbow Coalition group with his little sister ass. Message Jesse Jackson. He a coon too. He a damn coon too. Jesse Jackson. And Al Sharpton, he tried to play hard like he just so about helping the black community. Nah, you selling the black community because you get paid off the black community. And when you throw up that Masonic gesture. Al Sharpton, FBI agent. If you don't like it, I know YouTube's so sensitive, and although I'm not on YouTube, my shit hit YouTube and stuff, but I'm on Spreaker, I'm on Spotify, I'm on iHeart, I'm on all the podcast radio shows, podcast radio. That's what I do. Because and then they said Martin King was having a found his wife. He did. And then J. Edgar Hoover wrote a letter. Well, J. Edgar Hoover wrote a letter about Martin Luther King. If your people would have found out what you was all about, you could see the folks, because you go out of the country and mess with them little young white folks. Oh, you think I didn't know that? They researched it. Nobody picking on that damn guy. He ain't no righteous man, I know that much. The Most High said otherwise. The Most High said the prophet said, I had a dream, I dreamed, and lied in his name. He lied on the Most High name. The Most High never sent no Martin Luther King. black folks to forget that.